Welcome back to another episode of Off The Dribble, featuring myself, Aashrith, and my co-host Chetan. And this is our special trade deadline episode.
Yep.
We finally done with the NBA trade deadline, probably the most exciting part of the NBA that doesn't have to do with basketball. And wow, like the past few trade deadlines weren't that exciting. We got a couple of like mid moves here and there. The Lakers probably were the most exciting team, but the Lakers yet again are the most exciting team, but for a different reason this time. They got someone that we didn't even think was possible, someone that probably shouldn't be possible realistically, but they found a way to get him because they're the Lakers. And yeah, I mean, we get to see him play on Monday, and we can just jump straight into it, right? Luka
Yeah.
Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first round pick.
Yeah.
What say you?
Like obviously like craziest trade that like I've seen in sports happen. 25-year-old mega superstar in the NBA, arguably the best scorer in the league. Face of the franchise, took the team to the Western Conference to the NBA Finals last year. And then just gets traded in the middle of the season when he's injured because he is not good conditioning wise. His weight is 270 pounds, and they're not really sure if they should pay him a $345 million max deal after the season. I again, trade makes no sense to me. I don't understand why you're trading for a 31, 32-year-old player at the very end of his prime. I don't. That's already very, very injury prone in Anthony Davis. Again, with the whole way the trade went down between Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka, it seems like Nico was intent on getting AD for Luka. I think that's like realistically what he thought would be the best trade package for him because the way the trade went down, no other team in the league knew that Luka was even available for trade. There was only discussions between the Mavs and the Lakers. So that clearly shows that Nico Harrison thought that AD was the missing piece for the Mavs as opposed to Luka.
Yeah.
But you brought up a great point when we were talking about this trade in the beginning. Like I first looked at the roster as a whole and I was like, wow, if you really look at it, like a Kyrie, Clay, PJ Washington, AD, Gafford lineup, like that could be a championship lineup if you think about it. But then you brought up the point of like their whole offense revolves around Luka. Like PJ Washington's ability to make 3-pointers, majority of the 3-pointers he makes are very open. Daniel Gafford's offensive production, he's not a great post player regardless by himself. If you give him the ball in the post, he's a really good lob threat. That's mainly what he does. Same thing with Derek Lively. So all those players, their offensive production skyrocketed when he was on the team. So I really think I agree with your point with that we'll see a drop in offensive production with those people. But again, like AD might help them a little bit, but you're losing passing and a tremendous scoring.
The thing is, like, I I almost agree with the premise that Nico Harrison chose to take, which is that like they were never going to win a championship without strong front court defense, right?
Yeah.
But like the way you combat that isn't to trade away your best player.
Yeah.
Like the ideal way to do it would have been if you could get a player like maybe not of Anthony Davis's caliber, but like maybe someone like Miles Turner or like
Mm-hmm.
someone like Bam, who's like obviously like the Heat are like a bit in flux right now, like and you trade Kyrie away or something. Now that would be like imagine like a Luka Bam duo, like that would be something like worthwhile.
Yep.
But trading away the person that you built your entire team around, like if you look at the Mavs, the way they're constructed is like wing defenders who can shoot threes, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
have PJ Washington, who's like a really good three-point shooter. He plays the Thunder and like decent otherwise. Like you have Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, who two true lob threats. Like essentially do nothing else but catch lobs.
Yeah.
And you have a shot creator on the side like Kyrie Irving, who like really benefited from Luka's like heliocentricness. The fact that Luka could attract two people at all times gave Kyrie so much open running room. And Maxi Kleber, same thing. Like you have players that like depend on the catch. Like now you have one true shot creator. I'm not sure if AD's really gonna create anything for anyone besides like a low post move for himself. Like again, very talented scorer, but like I don't necessarily view him as like an elite playmaker. And I don't know. Like I don't really see the short term vision or the obviously the long term vision. Nico Harrison himself said that like this is a 3 to 4 year window for them. So
Yeah.
I've never understood teams shortening a window on purpose.
For
Like you had a 10-year window with a top four player in the league. You shorten it to a 2-year window with a top 10 player in the league. It just like the math doesn't math.
Like the only way I would like think about doing that is like if you're getting Giannis, because like Giannis is 30 years old. He's not
Yeah.
like super injury prone or anything like that. Like he takes care of his body. You know he can stay healthy enough for another 4 or 5 more years. And even when he's like 35, 36, he won't give you 38, 28 a game at that point. He can give you like 20, 22. But like AD, you never know how he can play next season. Like that's like how it all is. Like because with him, like you could tell like his aggressiveness from when he went from in New Orleans to now, like his game has changed a lot. Like he's still really athletic, but he's like not as athletic as he used to be. He relies a lot more on fadeaway mid ranges, things like that. And I just don't think like I think the spacing is going to be a problem in Dallas. Like I think Luka helped a lot with the spacing. Clay is out of his prime. 3-point wise, he played really well last game, but like that's one game out of like I think 50 games so far this season that he's played good in. Like you said, PJ Washington only plays really, really, really well against the Thunder. He's like a normal average 3-point shooter against any other team. And majority of his shots are wide open in the corner. And like, is he going to be getting those same kind of shots every game now that Luka's not there? No, it's not going to happen. And even if you're doubling AD in the post, AD is not known to like have good awareness, or he's not known to be a good passer in general. Like even in the low post, like so like even with people saying, oh, AD is going to attract 2 bodies when he's in the paint too, so he can kick it out. But his ability to kick out compared to Luka, like you can't really compare those two at all.
And now, like, if you look at the Lakers side, like, look at the like. I know it's just a recent stretch, but if you look at the way LeBron's playing right now,
Yeah.
like, dude, this dude just dropped 42 and 17 as a 40-year-old, like shooting like almost perfect from 3. Like, if you add Luka to that, like people were questioning the fit. That's like the main thing, right? Where you have 2 like super ball dominant players, but I don't know, bro. Like LeBron made it work with Kyrie, Luka made it work with Kyrie. I feel like they can make it work, bro.
Yeah. They can
And
100% make it work with each other. I think like what they need to do is kind of solidify who is like the initiator of the offense. Like, is it going to be Luka or is it going to be LeBron that like initiates the sets when you bring the ball up? I feel like once you get past that like point, then like they can figure it out pretty easily.
they'll stagger their minutes too. It's not like I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna share too much court time together, like in the second and third quarter. It's gonna be like they're gonna close together and open together essentially.
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
gonna be it. And it's Luka's team. Like let's be honest. Like he's the better player at this stage in their careers. And like he's gonna I think I heard Jared Greenberg say he's gonna make his debut on Monday.
Yeah, against the Jazz.
Which is fuck for ESPN because ESPN bought out the Saturday game. Now they're gonna watch a Lakers Pacers game for no reason. But like he's playing Monday, and we're gonna see AD play Saturday, so we shall see. But another player who's gonna play on Saturday is a player who probably should have gotten traded a lot earlier. Probably should have got traded for a lot more. But Jimmy Butler finally out of the Heat.
I don't know how like this is gonna work for the Warriors. Like I don't know. Jimmy and Steph, they still don't have a center. Like you don't have a center, bro. Like what can you do when your center is
Jackson Davis believer?
He plays like 20 minutes a game. You can't like expect to win when you have a 7-footer for only like half of the game.
Not another Kevon Looney believer either.
Dude, I used to be that anymore, bro. Every single summer, I used to be like, yo, Kevon Looney in the gym working on his mid range, working on his 3-pointer.
Hey, bro, he has a strap. I don't know why they don't let him
have a strap. I don't know why he doesn't use it.
Yeah.
But like I mean, what would that starting lineup look like? You're gonna have Steph, Pods at the 2.
Yeah.
And Jimmy at the 3. Who's at the 4? Kuminga at the 4 and Draymond at the 5.
Yeah.
Like that's a really small lineup.
Or you play Jimmy at the 2 and move everyone up and play Chase at the 5.
Chase at the 5. Like still like Jimmy's 35 years old. Like his production this season hasn't been great, but like he seems like he didn't want to play in Miami, so he probably wasn't playing up to his level. I mean, if he can get to what he was
one-legged threes, bro.
Yeah,
he did not want to play.
But if he can get to like his like level of like kind of what he would do a couple years ago in the regular season, give you like 22, like 7 and 6 with like some like decent defense, maybe the Warriors can make the push. Where are they in the standings right now? Well, they just lost. They're 11th right now.
Yeah.
Tied for the 10th. again with the Kings, and
And the
like you
sneaky
have
Blazers, bro.
sneaky Blazers. You have the Spurs too that are gonna run at some point very soon because they just got Fox. Like I don't really see how that helps him. Plus, like before he got traded, he said he wasn't gonna sign an extension, and then right after he got traded, he signed an extension like 30 seconds later.
Immediately.
Yeah, so like he probably realized like even like if he got traded and he leaves in free agency, he's not gonna get no money close to what he's gonna get. What he got paid 2 years, 120.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2 years,
like
120. Yeah.
in free agency, you probably realize, yeah, I'm not going to get the opportunity to make $60 million or anything like that. So I'm just going to sign an extension with them. So why not? So I
Yeah.
feel like Jimmy cares more about the money at this point in his career, just getting paid,
100%.
doing what he needs to do. I don't really think he cares about winning anymore. Like you're in Golden State, bro. Like it's not some place where like you can go on a run right away. Like you have like, if he wasn't with Phoenix and like they didn't have Beal and then he had Booker and KD, I would be thinking about this a little differently. Like you have two really, really good scorers and you're adding Jimmy, like maybe you can go on a run with that. But with the Warriors, I don't see it happening. And you also got rid of Andrew Wiggins, who was a key piece for their defense, especially. So like that's something that you gotta think about for the Warriors on the Warriors side of the ball.
I think. Well, here's the thing about the trade in general. I think you're essentially just doing a Wiggins for Butler swap, right?
Yeah.
Because Schroeder is a negative asset at this point for them. He was terrible, as was Kyle Anderson. Like I don't like Kyle Anderson was like cool player here and there, but generally just terrible at basketball.
Yeah.
So I think Jimmy Butler is a substantially better player than Andrew Wiggins at this point. Like no matter like how he slices it. I know we don't like him because like the way he handled this was terrible. Like there's no like two ways about it. Like I understand that like the Heat just didn't put any pieces around him. Like expected him to make it work with like essentially second round picks. Bam, who like honestly has been pretty disappointing this year, and Tyler Hero, who's been really good this year, but has been really shaky throughout the last like few years, like sort of up and down play. And Jimmy's been kind of asked to carry a load, especially in the playoffs. Like the playoffs, he playoff Jimmy's a real thing. But like he's got to this team. The good news is that the Kings are terrible, so they're gonna pass the Kings. And I'm not honestly sold on the Spurs. I'm not on the Spurs. I'm not honestly sold on the Suns at all. Like I'm not like maybe like we just like played really good defense, but that second half when they played the Thunder, like was genuinely one of the most terrible halves of basketball I've seen a team in my life. Like they made one shot in the third quarter until a minute to go. Like the only points they had until like the 4-minute mark was free throws. Like I don't care if we're like the best defense in the league. You got to be able to make a jump shot, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like that was one of the worst. Like I think KD changes that like a good amount, but not enough to like vault them over any of the other teams. And I think the Warriors can get them too. The issue is that the Spurs are also right there.
Yeah.
So at best they're like a 9 seed, and they're stuck in the play-in.
And that doesn't even guarantee them getting out of the play-in at that point.
And then you committed 2 years, 120 million to this guy. So
yeah, and then like you're not going to be able to get out that contract next year. Like no way, nobody's going to want it.
Fuck no.
Yeah, you just have to let that play out.
I don't understand the extension like that fast, but I mean, hey, teams want to do what they want to do. But
I feel like they're just gonna rock with this core for the next 2 years. Maybe they kind of realize Steph probably only wants to play for 2 more years. Let's keep him help. That's kind of like at the same age level as him for like 2 more years. See what they can do for like Steph's last 2 years. Maybe they can make a run at something.
You think they make an outside move for KD?
I just saw some report that like
he doesn't want to be
there. He
there.
has a lot of hatred towards like the organization overall. So like even like he had a conversation with Steph, and Steph like kind of realized like I don't think he wants to play here anymore.
But I think if Draymond's involved in the trade, I think he'd be down to go back, bro.
Yeah, probably. But dude, they gave up Clay and Jordan before you give up Draymond. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic. In the last 2.5 years, Draymond has not been that important to the Warriors. Like, I think the Warriors could have gotten rid of him. Like, could have signed Clay and made money to keep Clay instead of.
I kind of disagree with that. Like, like Draymond's like, especially this season, I think like the defense that he provides, especially in the interior, is like the only reason they're even able to stay in games. Like if you look at like Steph, like net negative defender, like
Yeah,
Pods, like
terrible
honest
defender.
charge merchant,
Yeah,
genuinely.
that's all he does.
Yeah.
He only
Like
takes charge.
Wiggins is a plus defender.
Yeah, he's their only good defender. Kuminga is not a good defender.
Kuminga's
He has all
terrible.
the tools to be a good defender. He's supposed to be locked down, but he just doesn't use his
And then yeah.
brain.
And then you have fucking like what's that new
Don't even
center's
give
name?
Santos,
No,
Gui,
guys. No, there's someone else. Fuck. He's like
the
he
white
actually
dude,
starts he starts games for them now.
the white dude, the tall white dude.
Yeah, tall white dude.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Fuck.
Let
I'm going
me
to the
pull up
roster real quick.
Quentin Post. Yeah. That guy is not good.
Yeah,
Pat Spencer. I can't believe he actually gets minutes in the NBA. Like they have a lot of like net negative defenders, and it's like
wait, how is this?
Draymond kind of like all pulling it all together.
Yo, how is this an NBA team, bro?
Steph.
No, I'm looking at the roster, dude. Like, if you go away from like Steph and Kuminga, this team is ass.
It's just terrible.
Schroeder, Heald, Pods. Dude, why did they have like 6 guards on the bench?
Dude, they should have shipped one of them for Vucevic. Like I'm not saying Vucevic is like this like insane player, bro, but like give him a body down low at least.
It would have helped them so much with
Yeah.
rebounding, with like even just
Yeah.
like interior kind of presence of having someone bigger in the paint.
And Bulls fans want to get rid of him so bad. So it's
Yeah.
like it would be a perfect thing. Like they like I saw Kenny Beecham say just take the 4 seconds, like take whatever you can to get rid of him. Like it's just like he just doesn't fit their timeline. Like they have a bunch of young pieces and it's just like an old guy there, just like chilling, like kind of like Bradley Beal. Like it doesn't make any sense. He just doesn't want to leave.
He's just vibing.
Fuck Bradley Beal, bro.
The hatred towards Bradley Beal is real. Bro's really
Right.
making $60 million to come off the bench, bro.
Fuck that guy.
It's crazy.
But here's the next trade, like a super interesting trade, because like if Masai Ujiri's gonna do something, he's gonna buy low.
Yeah.
That guy is a constant buy low. And you get a player of Brandon Ingram's caliber for Bruce Brown. Like, are we being serious? Like, I like this is what confuses me
No, don't forget about
like
Kelly Olynyk, bro.
no, I forgot.
No,
So
don't forget. He's dirty.
like teams like the Timberwolves, right, who could use that sort of wing creator, teams
Yup.
like the Warriors, like why would you not like if the asking price is this low? Like if it's Bruce Brown, you could have given up Pods and a pick and got Brandon Ingram, dead ass. Like why are you shipping the farm away for like a player like Jimmy Butler when the Raptors can buy low on like this like Brandon was a very solid like former All Star.
Yeah, I think he's a 2-time
Yeah,
All-Star, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
Like, bro, are we being serious? Bruce
He's
Brown?
very consistent. Like when he plays, like he'll basically give, like he's not gonna go out there and like drop 30 every single night, but he'll give you like 20 to 25 almost like every night.
Yeah. And as long as Lou Dort's not guarding, he's gonna do a good job.
Yeah, first of all, I don't even understand how that matchup affects him because Lou Dort literally is like at his chest. You should be able to just shoot over him. I don't get how that affects him so much, but
It's contact, bro. He's Blaze. He's
yeah.
well, I can't do this right now.
That's the one thing with Brandon Ingram. Like he's like close to 7 foot, but bro's like a stick. So like he doesn't play like a full like 4. He's more of a 3. But again, like he's a great mid-range shooter. He's a consistent 3-point shooter. He can get to the paint. He's like not super old. He's like 28 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's not super
He was a
old.
Ben Simmons. Oh, is he Ben Simmons or Cat? What draft was he?
I think it's Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Cat was D-Lo.
Yeah, Cat was D-Lo in both.
Yeah, okay, so he's Ben Simmons.
Yeah, so he's 28 because Cat's 29. Yeah, so like that's still a relatively young player. Like I feel like the Warriors should have. If there was someone you can go for, that it would be Brandon Ingram, bro.
Bro, Warriors, the Cavs. The Cavs got a good player
Cavs
too.
got a
But
good player, yeah.
the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, like
Yeah.
like all these teams that like are missing a wing creator. Like you get like especially the Mavericks, bro. Like you trade away Luka, you get AD. Imagine you give up fucking like Najee Marshall,
And like Spencer
player
Dinwiddie
X
or
and a pick.
something.
Yeah.
Like Spencer Dinwiddie, Najee Marshall for Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Like I'll do that any day.
Yeah, I'll pack Najee Marshall's bag myself.
Yeah, I'll go to his house, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll fly the airplane, dog.
I don't understand. Whatever.
But like looking at a Toronto perspective, Toronto like they're quickly Barrett, Barnes, BI now.
The first super play-in team ever.
Yeah, first like great playing team ever. But like,
Yeah,
do you see Brandon Ingram staying there like long
for
term?
sure. He's gonna get a
Like,
9-year extension, 100%.
I feel like even if he gets an extension, like I don't think he probably. I think he gives it like a year or two, like 2 years. But then I don't think he ideally wants to be stuck in the play-in for the rest of his career either. Because when he was in New Orleans, his whole time like he was flirting between like play in 8 seed, play in 8 seed every single time. I feel like maybe give it a year or two, he sees where it goes, and then if it's like still stuck in the
Yeah.
play, I feel like he leaves.
See, but I think like I actually really like the way the team is constructed, right? Like you
Mhm.
have like they kind of like are the Celtics light in a way.
Yeah.
Like you have like everyone's significantly worse, but you have players like Scotty Barnes, him, and RJ Barrett, three like stout wings, kind of
Yeah.
replicates like Derek White, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, right? And then you have that sort of like non-traditional point guard who can get his own jump shot like
Mhm.
quickly. That's kind of like Drew Holiday. And then you have like the sort of post presence, I guess, of Horford.
Cutter.
They don't really have a Porzingis, but Pearl is pretty good. And I'm not entirely sure who else they have on the roster. Um,
Do they have
they have Agbaji and Grady Dick, who are
yeah,
pretty solid, like young
Grady
pieces.
Dick still? Ochai
Um,
Agbaji, big 3-and-D player?
I'm not sure if Jacoby Walter gets minutes, but he
I think
was
he does.
tough at Baylor, so uh, I kind of like him. And that's about it as far as players I know.
Who else?
But they'll have,
Oh, they have Jamal Shed too. They got rid of Davion Mitchell recently, basically probably because they realized like, well, we have Jamal. They're basically the same player.
yeah.
So I feel like he's also could be a lot better than Davion in the
Who
future.
has the Raptors pick next year? Do they have their own pick?
I think they do have their own pick.
Then like they can really add. This draft is super deep. They can really
Yeah,
add someone.
they have Boucher too, bro. Chris
But
Boucher is pretty good.
he's alright.
Nah, he's like a good backup center for them. He's not
He's
healthy. He's never healthy enough, but
he's
he's
solid.
he's
I
a
only
pretty
remember him because like last week, like when the Warriors for the Raptors flight crashed out because Boucher made like a bank three fadeaway. That shit was absurd.
yeah.
But I'm trying to see who they can get in the next draft. But like someone like if they have a high enough pick, bro, they could get the Duke center,
Um, the the
Kaloum something.
the guy that yacked on in the middle of the game.
I think.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they can get him. They can get Edgecombe from Baylor.
BJ Edgecombe is dirty, bro.
He's tough.
Fuck with him.
Come on, Malukas, the player I was talking about. Uh, Con Knuppel from Duke. Like, bunch of players they can get that can actually make a difference, and I think they can actually be like a playoff team next year.
Is Proctor gonna get drafted this year?
Probably late.
Late, like second,
I'm not even like he's been in college for a while, right?
the third year.
Yeah, I doubt he gets anywhere past the fucking.
I know
Dude,
he
they have
was this
nice.
supposed to be really good. Like his first season at Duke, people thought he would be like a top 15 pick that year.
Mm.
Fuck with him.
Duke's not really good for developing like mid-round talent.
Yeah,
Like it's either like you end up like Anthony Davis, not Anthony Davis, Kentucky. You end up in like Zion Williamson, Jason Tatum, or like
Grayson Allen,
type. But Grayson Allen's actually not that bad. Trying to think
JJ
of
Redick.
like Jaleel Okafor. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Jahlil Okafor he just playing in the wrong time period. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie to you. His post play is crazy, but like you can't use that in the league right now.
dead ass. And now moving on to arguably the best trade. You get the best or second best team in the league gets an upgrade for cheap somehow. Like I don't understand it. But
This
you
dude
get
coming off the bench, dropping 20 points a game, and you're trading
not
away an inconsistent, like 11 point per game bench scorer in Karis LeVert and a guy that's built like a defensive lineman in George's Niang.
what I think his nickname is the Caravan or something, or like something
Yeah,
like
it's something like that.
that. But insane move for the Cavs to get Hunter for the cheap. I'm not like I think the more fun perspective, because you know how good this is for the Cavs, but I think the more fun angle to take with this is what does this mean for Trae Young?
Yeah,
Because you have like DeAndre Hunter probably in the running for 6 man of the year, who is dropping, like we said, 20 points a game from the bench, like a real 3-and-D threat, someone who Trae Young's like really benefited on this season. You have players like Onyeka Okongwu, who had a 30-piece last game. You have
Jalen
himself. You have
Johnson.
and now you trade away Hunter. You trade away Bogdanovich to the Clippers, who hasn't really been having that good of a season, but still like a piece, right? And now Trae Young's kind of stuck in like this middling area where like we don't really know if the Hawks are winning or not, and they're just tanking for the love of the game because the Spurs have their pick. So like they're just losing to lose. So I'm not entirely sure because he's not going to get any help this next year. You have Risa Shea, who's really been up and down. I don't know, man. I don't
Like
really know what the
recently
direction
is
is.
when they drafted him, like I feel like his ceiling was like a really, really good 3-and-D role player.
Which is honestly like what he's like. He had a couple 30-point games this season. He actually been
Yeah,
not that bad.
he hasn't been terrible. But like after that Jalen Johnson injury, after he went down for the season, I feel like that team kind of realized like, oh, okay, we lost our second best player. Is there anything we can do this season? And they were probably like, oh, probably not. So let's just ship away everybody that's valuable to the team and see how our superstar does. But like I don't know. Like Trey seems like he wants to play in Atlanta. Like I know he wants to, but at the same time he wants to win now. Like he's been in the league for the same amount of years as Luka has been. This is what, 7th year in the league, 6th year in the league, something like
Yeah,
that.
same draft as Luka and Shea.
Yeah. So like at that point in your career, you don't want to be stuck in a rebuild again, especially like wasting your prime years with a franchise that's not gonna kind of take you, even like guarantee you taking you to the playoffs. So I think like this season, you could very possibly see him leave, especially because like I love Jalen Johnson, but this is the second year in a row where he's been out for the season, like basically halfway through the season.
Yeah,
So like that's kind of creating the notion of you being injury prone again.
yeah,
So like you like as a superstar being on the same team for 7 years and you took them to the Eastern Conference Finals, almost took them to the finals. You've done a lot for the organization, but like they're just trading. I feel like it's kind of like a Miami situation, except Trey is not Jimmy. Like Trey doesn't have the like he doesn't not putting everything out there. Like he like openly says he wants to play in Atlanta, and also like he's not a dick to his organization at the same time. Like he's so like I feel like it's kind of like that. Like they're not giving him the help that he deserved, but I feel like the best thing for his career would be for him to leave.
yeah. And reports came out that the Spurs were deciding between like Trae Young and De'Aaron Fox, and I think the Spurs aren't really too much in a rush to do things like,
Yeah.
and the Fox trade kind of just like fell in their laps.
hmm
Like,
If it really the Fox trade doesn't work out, I mean, you could flip Fox for Trey.
yeah, but I think like based on that first game, I think the Spurs can be just fine.
Yeah, they'll
Honestly.
be good.
They smoked. They not smoked, but they beat the Hawks.
Yeah.
And what do you think DeAndre's going to do for the Cavs? Because
I think
this makes them a lot scarier, in my opinion.
yeah, it does make them a lot scarier. Well, who is their starting three?
They play a mix of
Okoro?
Dean Wade, Okoro, and Sam Merrill sometimes. I don't think Sam Merrill starts too much actually, but
Yeah, so basically
Dean Wade
Dean
or
Wade.
Okoro.
Okoro. So like you basically have Hunter coming off the bench with Ty Jerome. That's
You don't think Hunter starts?
you think he's gonna start at the 3?
Like I think he's a much better player than Dean Wade, with all due respect.
Yeah,
Like
but I
Dean
feel
Wade's a
like
good clog piece for them, but I don't know if like you think Hunter provides more value off the bench with this UBA partner.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, Jerome's been a microwave off the bench. Like he's been cooking, and like I don't know if like Hunter is actually no, that would work too. Maybe Hunter wouldn't get his own shots up with Mitchell and Garland and Mobley.
Yeah,
So maybe like
he would be more of like a spot up shooter in the corner.
yeah, so
That's kind of what you want to. That's kind of that's like not where he's most effective. You want him coming off the bench, getting his own like that 1-2 punch with Ty Jerome. I think that would go crazy.
is he playing tonight?
I don't think so. He just got traded yesterday, so I doubt
Yeah,
his
trade
physical
pending.
and
Yeah,
doubt his physical and everything is done. But especially with like Ty Jerome, like he's not a great defender, so you're adding DeAndre Hunter, who's a really good 3-and-D player next to him coming off the bench. So you kind of filling that void the bench had. Like if you looked at that Cavs bench, they didn't have defense at all. They had two really good scorers in Karis LeVert and Ty Jerome. But again, Karis LeVert has been really underwhelming this season. And you had Georges Niang, who was like a really streaky 3-point shooter.
yeah,
Like that defense wasn't really there. So now you got to upgrade on defense, and you got 10 times more of upgrade on scoring as well.
yeah.
And like that helps you a lot. Like say like you have small injuries with DG, or like God forbid Mitchell goes down for a couple weeks, you can insert Garland into like a 2 for like a week or so. Let him rock with the starting lineup. You're not gonna obviously win the same amount of games that you were winning with your full healthy lineup, but you'll win. You'll keep yourself afloat to maybe even hold that 1 seed, because they're still like 5.5 games ahead of the Celtics, so they have a decent cushion against them. So like adds a lot more depth for them too.
True.
That defense is gonna be insane though. Hunter, like when that Hunter, Mobley, Allen lineup is in, Hunter's defense is like underrated. It's very, very underrated.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like, dude, because
Like when he
Hunter's a
was in,
better defender than Dean Wade. You have those three. You don't even need Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland to play like decent defense. They can funnel
yeah,
everyone to the paint.
yeah, literally. And like when he was at UVA, like in that national championship game against Texas Tech, he was guarding. I think he was guarding Jarrett Culver, and the Wolves drafted Jarrett Culver the year after. We drafted him with like the 6th pick. After that game, Jarrett Culver lost all confidence in basketball, like for the rest
Terrible.
of his career. Like he went from being like probably like a pretty good like role player that would translate to the NBA to losing all confidence in his jump shot, not being able to make a layup, not being able to do anything. Like that kind of like his defense basically just like demoralized somebody that was going to the league.
It's crazy. What do you think this puts the Cavs and the Celtics? Back when we had this conversation again. Like
I
this
think
definitely improves the Cavs' chances,
yeah,
and the Celtics haven't been looking that good recently.
they just lost yesterday to a Mavs team that
Dallas.
still didn't have AD. Kyrie didn't even play that great of a game yesterday either. He was pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's see, 36 and 16. They're 5.5 behind. They're
Mhm.
only 1.5 above the Knicks for the 3. They'd
Yeah,
probably
that's
get the Pistons or the Heat in the first round. The Cavs would probably get the Magic in the Magic or the 8 seed.
yeah. They've been falling, bro. They've been playing because Paulo has not been playing that well since
God,
he's
they might
come
get
back
the
from
Sixers in
injury.
the first round at this rate.
Sixers, Cavs could be crazy.
I'd love to see Embiid play, bro. Because
Yeah,
look, Embiid played last game. He had a triple double.
yeah.
Looked insane. Sensational. I'd love to see Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley versus Joel Embiid, bro.
That'd be defense versus offense at its finest right there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
just
think
give Joel Embiid a chance.
yeah, like as long they're only a game back from the 10th seed. The Bulls are gonna keep falling. Obviously, they don't have that roster to keep
They're
them.
really trying not to win.
Yeah, they're like really, really trying not to
Yeah,
win. So like, yeah, who the Sixers really have nobody else to worry about. Like it's all about like how many games does Joel Embiid want to win for the team, and does he want to put them in position for them to make the playoffs?
because I think the Pistons smoked the Magic, so
Yeah,
it'll be Magic versus the winner of like Hawks Sixers. Bro, you're giving Joel Embiid a one-on-one with Onyeka Okongwu. With all due respect, bro,
he's
that's
digging
a
him.
50 ball.
Yeah, maybe in a 70 piece.
Oh my, he did 70 to Wemby. To be fair,
Yeah, so like maybe like a 90 piece.
that ass you guys see go for 100.
Gonna have like 30 free throws. At that point, you have to foul him. You can't do anything. Like I low key get it now. Like I used to complain about it like all the time. Like oh my god, Embiid, you're like 300 pounds. Like why are you like getting hacked so much? Why are you complaining? Like nobody can guard you, bro. Like it makes sense. It genuinely
That's the
makes
same
sense.
thing that Shaq was complaining about too. Like they were so dominant they had to foul him,
Hmm.
and like the refs stopped calling fouls at some point because like it's like what the fuck am I gonna do? Blow the whistle 20 times?
Yeah,
But like with Embiid, like it's so egregious because like with Shaq they're grabbing him before he goes up, but with Embiid like he's taking fadeaway jump shot, right? So you just hear the fucking slap.
slaps.
So like you can't just not call it.
Yeah, and then
And
it's like
he's gotten so good at foul like baiting too.
waiting to
So
like for a 7-footer at that size, like he has every repertoire and offense that he needs.
this is what I
He
hate,
can't
bro.
do
Like
enough.
if you're gonna complain about them calling, like Bradley Beal pissed me off with this shit because like Shea got him 3 straight times, right? Like
Mhm.
and he complained every single time. If you're gonna complain, just don't jump. Like
Yeah,
like don't fall for it. And like if you fall for it and you're in the air, then you lost, bro.
yeah.
Like
I feel like it's the same thing with like Ant too. Like Ant's recently been getting a lot more free throw attempts, but like before, like he always complains to the refs. Like after almost like every drive, you see him like talking to the ref where he goes like,
mm,
"Hey, like come on."
mm,
Like even though like he might get fouled every single time he's at the rim, like as a ref, you can't call that every
every
single time.
single time, yeah.
You can't like blow the whistle. Like you can't slow the game down that much. Like give him like 6 to 8 free throws a game. That's fine. But like, I mean, the other day he took like 15, which I was like, damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I've never seen Ant take 15 free throws in a game.
Well, speaking of Ant,
Oof,
this almost happened.
that would have been.
And Kevin Durant to the Timberwolves was a late buzzer beater report by Chris Haynes that almost happened. And
I believe
like
that very much too because of that like KD Ant relationship,
yeah,
and
I know
like
Chris Haynes is like super reliable.
yeah, who do you think would have been involved from the T-Wolves side? Because I know the T-Wolves would have only been able to send out one player because we were in the second apron. So in order to do that, I think we would only been able to send out one player.
Yeah, and that one player is the center.
Gobert. Yeah, Rudy Gobert. And that like ruins like that. Like if we had a backup center that we can insert into the lineup like this, I feel like they would have been more inclined to do it, but we don't. Our backup center is Luka Garza. Luka Garza got cooked against the Wizards the other day. Absolutely cooked on defense. So like you can't allow that sustainability. And no matter how much people knack on Rudy's offensive skill side of the ball, that defense, like even though like it's not defensive player of the year level like it was last year, it's still amazing. Like just the presence of having a 7-footer in the paint that can give you 3 blocks a game is like that's the reason that we've been a top 5 defense past 2 seasons and the number 1 defense last year.
You can only trade one player from the second apron?
Yeah.
Because I would have thought that it would have been like Rudy and Rob or something, just to avoid
No.
you guys like trading of
Yeah, you can only send out one player.
So it'll be Rudy and a bunch of picks.
Yeah, Rudy and like a bunch of picks that we basically already don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough for. I wish you guys did something to get under the apron. I don't know what it would have been. Like,
yeah, that's.
I don't know who you're paying like excess salary to that you don't have to. Like,
yeah. It's because of Rudy's contract this year, but then we gave him an extension, but the extension we give him kicks in next year, and he takes a pay cut from that with that extension. So from next season onwards, I don't think we're gonna be in the second apron because he took like he went from like making 48 mil to making like 33 mil a year.
But when do you gotta sign Ant?
We already signed Ant to a max.
But you gotta give him that supermax soon.
Supermax.
Right? You gotta give him that 300.
Oh, you think so?
100%.
I don't think he wants the 300, bro. I think he's chilling with this 240.
Oh, 240?
Yeah, they can ask him, yo, you want an extra 60 mil or you want like KD on the team?
Yeah, ask Luka if he wants an extra 60 mil.
You think he's gonna say 60 mil instead of KD?
Hell yes. Like
maybe
like the contracts we're about to offer this offseason is absolutely absurd. We're gonna offer Shea a 5-year, $350 million contract that he'll probably sign. We're gonna offer J-Dub a 5-year, $230 million contract.
Same thing with Chet, right?
We're gonna offer Chet a 5-year, $230 million contract.
Yeah,
it's actually absurd.
Like if you're putting the trust of giving Ant that supermax, you're putting a lot. You're basically solidifying Nas as your number 2 option at that point. You're putting all your trust in the core of. It's not a bad core at all. Like down 3-4 years down the line, a core of Rob at the point, Ant at the 2, Jaden at the 3, Nas at the 4, and then like a decent center. Like 3-4 years down the line, that could be a championship level team with how Nas progresses, with how Rob progresses. But that all depends on Rob. And
you would need a 5 somehow, though.
We would need a 5 somehow. I feel like we would probably do that through the draft, some way, somehow draft. I don't think we'd go after like a star big man, someone along the lines of what Rudy gave us. Maybe like we'd try and trade for a Miles Turner type of player at that point in time when like Rudy's gone, or when like Rudy's like regressing.
Draft one of the Maryland centers, man.
Oh, what's his name? Derek Queen.
Derek Queen, Julian Reese, Angel Reese's brother.
Dude, Derek Queen, didn't he drop like 2021 game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that rebounding is a huge issue for us too. So like
he's projected mid to late first round. So like anywhere between like 13 to 21 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting with the Wolves this offseason too, because there's some reports that Randall might not opt out of his contract. He might want to stay with the Wolves for 1 more year. So like he might just opt into his contract. And if he opts into his contract, we're fucked. We can't sign Nas or nah, bro. It's wraps.
But if he opts in, you could trade him though.
Yeah, if he opts in, we can trade him. So that's the good thing. So at that point, like I don't think he would want to like take that risk of opting in and then getting traded. I think he would just want to choose
where you know what the value is if he opts in?
No, I should check.
If it's like significantly more than he'd make on open market, he's 1,000,000% taking it. But in the meantime, if you guys have noticed throughout this whole conversation with trades and stuff, we've been discussing the CBA a lot. And
player option is worth $30.9 million, which is less than what he would get if he took the market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
think
he's
you think he'd make more than 30 mil a year if he went on the open market?
no.
No,
Yeah,
he's
no.
getting paid
He'd
like
probably stay
18.
then. Yeah, he'd probably stay then.
Yeah,
Dude,
100%.
but he's not. He's still. If you 30 mil for Julius Randle is not bad though, bro. Like a
That's
player
bad.
like him, you would expect a player like him to be making $45 million
No,
a year. He's no, bro.
no.
He averages 20. He average on a good year.
Dude,
He'll give you
dude,
25, 8, and 5.
dude, you watch him play basketball. He's terrible. I'm not giving 45 mil.
Okay, we watch him play basketball. Okay, but like if you're a NBA team, like a lot of NBA teams go based off just like stats or like, all right, yo, this dude's giving you
Wait,
25.
are we saying that like some dumbass franchise might give him 40 mil?
Yeah,
All right, maybe.
but like that could be like the Wizards or something too. So like, that's up to him if he wants to go to like a Charlotte or Washington or something like that. But that's up to him. Just like
Yeah.
don't as long as Nas stays, bro, you could do whatever you want. If Nas is gone, I'm gonna personally come to Minnesota and I'm throwing Julius Randle into the fucking whatever that lake is called, Lake Minnetonka. I'm fucking throwing his ass in there, bro. He's gonna fucking bottom of that fucking lake, bro.
Crazy.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, you want to throw 6'9" Julius Randle into the lake?
I could do it pretty easily, but I won't.
For context, guys, Chetan is 5'5", by the way.
Hey, I'm 5'8". Relax. I'm 5'8". All right, so let's talk about the CBA to end the pod a little bit because that's like where a lot of the trades are going off of. So if you want to
Yeah.
just explain what the new CBA kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, in layman's terms, right? Like you're essentially, if you're above a certain threshold, you're essentially the league has tried to make super teams not exist.
Yeah.
And like we can say the genesis of this was the Boston Celtics, right?
Mhm.
Like it's just too many like good players in the team. They want to figure out a way to break these teams up and have more parity across the league, right?
Yep.
So the most important rules is that teams can't use the mid-level exception in free agency. Teams can't trade their first round pick 7 or more years in the future. Teams can't acquire their players when they sign and trade their own free agents. And there's a bunch of other ones but the big one is the draft pick, right? That if you're in the second apron 2 years in a row or more, or 2 years in any 4-year period, your pick automatically goes to the bottom of the first round.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends on like how much teams are willing to spend to win a championship, right? Because we discussed this right before the pod started, but if the Celtics win the championship this year, like they have no problem with that pick being 30th, because like it's gonna be 28th anyways.
Mhm.
And like it's like a 2 place difference. Like the championship win itself pays off the luxury tax. Like you're gonna end up profiting throughout the season anyways. Like you're fine. However, if they lose in the second round, then we start having conversations about, okay, is this team good enough to win? Like, do we have to move Holiday or Porzingis to get under the apron? Like, there's a lot of like things you have to start discussing. That's why teams like the Thunder, teams like the Timberwolves, teams like the Spurs, the Cavs are all like, okay, like we have a stacked amount of talent, but we have to win like immediately, or else we can't justify, or else our owners won't justify paying 2, 3, 400 million extra, because the Celtics owners are selling the team purely because of the luxury tax. Like,
Yeah.
it's a $500 million commitment per year to own this team. It's a lot. It's like in the grand scheme of things for like super billionaire owners, not a lot of money, but not everyone in the NBA who's an owner is fucking Jeff
Like
Bezos.
yeah.
Like 500 million is still a fuck ton of money.
Shit ton of money, bro.
So it's like, how much can you endure? And the Celtics are going to endure a good amount. They're going to make the conference finals, like sleepwalk the conference finals. They'll probably make the NBA finals again this year. Like, they'll be fine. But the main discussion point are teams like the Suns, who are paying 3 people max contracts. You have a bunch of people on like super low contracts, really no tradable assets, no way to get underneath the apron as like efficiently as you would like, because you have a player making $54 million who won't get traded, who's like terrible at basketball.
Because he
So,
likes the weather in Phoenix.
yeah. So I guess the discussion really, like the question I have to ask is like, is this going to end up ruining the NBA? Because that's what players like Draymond Green, players of a voice, are saying, that this is the stupidest thing the NBA has ever done. Like, signing this is like going to make NBA teams worse overall.
I feel like it's the opposite because before the NBA was very, very open to bigger market teams like New York, Boston, LA, things like that, Golden State, places like that. Now this allows smaller market teams to be a lot more competitive because you're essentially creating the evenest playing field you can create between all the teams, and for them to basically go out there and get assets at an even playing wise. So like you're allowing teams like the Pistons and teams like the Celtics to kind of follow the same rules. Like the Celtics can't just go out there and sign a player because their owners are rich as fuck and they don't give a fuck about spending more money just because the Pistons are a small market team and their owner wants to save more money. So that's not a topic of discussion anymore. Like you're basically setting a hard cap at how much an NBA team can spend. That's what you're doing basically with the CBA. So that's allowing teams like Detroit, Orlando, a lot of these teams that are like up and coming to kind of really figure out who are like key players on their team right now. Who should they decide to pay right now? And it allows owners to make like better and more like a lot like decisions that are like thought out, because now when you're paying a player, you really got to think about like, is this like an investment that we're making for the next 4 years? Is this type of money that we're giving the player going to be worth it? And at the same time, will this keep us under the second apron? So like if we look at the Wolves, like the Wolves traded Cat because we were way over the second apron with Cat on the team. I think the team realized, even with the addition of Rob during the draft, they probably realized like, oh, we still won't make the NBA finals going next season because Rob's a rookie. He's like a 6'2" rookie that weighs 160 pounds. You can't expect that addition to take you to the NBA finals. So they were like, okay, let's go save some money, trade away Cat, get in a rental for 1 year in Julius Randle that can kind of give you that similar production offensively, and you're not losing too much offensive production, and then get another piece in Dante who you think can be valuable for the future, and then kind of work your way from there. So now the Wolves have the opportunity to make a decision between either letting Randle go and then signing Nas and Nikhil, or you can let Randle go and let Nas walk, sign Nas, and then you can sign a bigger free agent, somebody that's like maybe like a Cam Johnson type of player in next summer or something like that. So like it allows teams to work a lot more kind of, it's like basically you're building around like one franchise star now. Like that's kind of what teams are doing. Like you have one franchise player and then you're setting that player up for success and building the best team around him. It's not like putting 3 stars on one team and that team is going to win. It's like now it's what team is best built around their star. Like that's how it's going to be now.
Yeah. And as a Thunder fan, this almost works perfectly, right? Because the CBA values teams that build through the draft. So like if you're a team like, we'll reference the Celtics again, right? Who drafted 2 really, really core pieces on their team, but they really like bought Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Porzingis, right? This doesn't really benefit them because like those players like cost draft picks. So they're giving up draft picks to get players, and then those players end up inevitably losing value, right?
Yeah.
So they'll trade them later for less than what they got. But a team like the Thunder, who I think have drafted every player on this team except for Shea and Hart.
Yeah.
Like you have we have like a shit ton of first round picks which immediately gain value for these teams like the Celtics, the Suns, the Timberwolves, anyone who needs a pick like has to come to the Thunder or the Spurs, honestly, to do it, which means our picks gain a tremendous amount of value.
Yeah.
And then we have a proven track record drafting wise. So when it comes time to ship off Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Hartenstein, when it comes time to like get value for those players, we'll end up getting more picks in return.
Yeah.
We're essentially like teams that build like that are essentially simultaneously competing right now and building for the future, because keeping your team below a certain age like allows you to kind of beat the CBA. Like you consistently have a stockpile of draft picks, which then increase in value. You either use them or you trade them for more draft picks. Like we saw Presti the other day. He traded for a random second round pick in 2031. And like people were like, why? But it created flexibility with the first round pick we have with the Suns in 2029, another first round pick we have in 2031. He's thinking 6 years in advance. And he traded for this random ass second round pick that gives him like a lot more flexibility.
Yeah.
Like it's like trades like that like teams like the Cavs, the Spurs, the Thunder, teams that really build through the draft, or like, and the Magic now too, right?
Mhm.
Like they're gonna end up like building like that rather than the Warriors or the Lakers or the Celtics.
Yeah, that's like kind of what the Wolves are doing too. Like we don't have too many draft picks, but like a lot of like what we're doing now is kind of building our team around the draft. Like a lot of our core players we drafted in, like Nas we signed that. Nas wasn't even drafted. We signed him.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we drafted Jaden, and you drafted Terrence Shannon Jr., who just got his first real playing time in actual game the other day. Played amazing. We drafted Jalen Clark, who dropped 17 points yesterday against the Rockets. So we drafted Rob. So we have all these like young pieces that we're kind of like building on and kind of putting our confidence into them into the future. And that was it's kind of interesting. But the draft picks and everything, I was thinking about this. What pick is that center from UMD? Like where's he gonna fall in the draft?
One of them will fall between like late lottery to like early 20s,
Okay.
and then the second one is like a late second rounder.
So is Derek Queen the one that's gonna be lottery to
Yeah,
early 20s? That's
yeah.
interesting because we have the Pistons draft pick for this upcoming draft, and I think it's top 14 protected. And the Pistons
They're gonna
aren't
make the
they're gonna make the playoffs. So that could be our draft pick, which if we can get him, that'd be pretty tough. Yeah, that'd be pretty
He's
cool.
nice.
Yeah, that'd be solid. But yeah, it's basically now you got to build through the draft. That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
I
we
think
pretty
that's
much everything, right?
touched on everything. Any other trades that come to your mind that we want to talk about the Mark Williams trade real quick? I don't really think we need to touch on that too
We can
much.
touch on it a bit. Like it gives Luka like a pretty nice like a lob threat,
More
like
threat.
kind of
Yeah,
sort of like
they needed a
9 for
center.
9 standing reach is
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
But I
It's like
heard he has like a serious back injury that he's
yeah.
just not getting surgery on. So he's just not able to
Mhm.
play defense. Like he's not able to lift weights. Like he's not able to do anything. So hopefully he corrects that, or else he won't be able to like stay on the floor.
Yeah, like his defensive intensity is just not there. But like if you have a back injury, how much can you do defensively? Like
Yeah,
even offensively, bro. Like what are you doing with the back injury?
yeah.
Like
Like
I don't get that shit fixed.
get that shit sorted out.
Yeah,
So
like why you want to play through pain? Like come
yeah,
on, you're in the
and
league. You're gonna be making money.
Connect's a nice shooter too. So it's like a big piece to give up.
Yeah,
So like, I'd assume they're gonna go straight into surgery in the offseason.
you
But
think so?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but what do you think about like? Do you think like Charlotte gets anything with like Connect and
Like LaMelo gets into the shooter. That's good. Like it
yeah?
depends on like what they want to do with him, right? With LaMelo, because I thought they'd trade him by this point.
I
Like
think it's like
honestly,
that team. I feel like that organization kind of needs to like really think about like, can we win with Lamelo? Like, is that possible for us?
they should sell it. They should think about like disbanding, bro. Like just like give the team up. Like
Yeah, like
no one's watching. No one's watching this shit. Like, are we being serious right now,
do they even have fans, bro?
dude? I'm about to move right next to the stadium,
Yeah.
and I'm not planning on going to any games.
Not even if the Thunder play.
Maybe Thunder play.
Maybe you'll get tickets for like $5.
It is, dude. Bank of America is like the sponsor of the football stadium there, so they have a lot of pull in like the community, bro. I'm not even considering it.
You gotta watch the Panthers play, bro.
Bryce is all right.
Bryce is all right. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, shout out
Before
Bryce.
we end, I also want to touch on the Blazers. Are 10-1 over their last 11 games.
They're winning for no reason, but it's
Literally,
nice.
absolutely no reason.
They are nice.
Yeah, so I think those 2 losses that the Timberwolves had to them in the beginning of the
Oh,
season are
stop!
a little justified.
This is
But
crazy,
I
Pope.
wanted to just talk about Tumani Kamara real quick because that dude is a dog.
All right,
If he isn't on like a first team, like any all defensive team this year, then I don't really know what you're doing with all defensive team.
he won't be. There's too many good defenders.
Dude, he passes the eye test and he has his stats too. Like it's
Dude,
so obvious,
eye
bro.
test, bro. No one's watching the Blazers.
Dude. If you're watching like your favorite team play the Blazers, bro, he's locking up your best player, bro.
What are Shea's numbers against Portland?
Ah,
you know,
fuck.
you know, Shea. I think Shea's won like
You
15 in a
give
row
Shea,
against Portland.
yeah, give Shea's numbers. Shea probably did good. Ant's stats versus Portland. I know Ant got locked the fuck up against him, but that's because they went to they played at college together. So
Okay, let's go. Shea had 35, 28, 30, and 37.
Ant's last 2 games were 20 or what? Damn, 13, 22, 22, and 24.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you got clamped.
Yeah.
You got clamped.
Shea's averaging 35 against him this season.
That's like normal. That's like normal for him, bro. That's like normal.
Yeah, at this point, bro.
I expect like 50 against the Blazers, bro. Bottom 5 team in the West. Come on now.
Next episode we gotta discuss this guy a little more, bro.
Who?
Shea,
yeah.
This pace is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. 37 a game since January 1st is diabolical work.
Second 50 piece of the season.
Third
50 piece of the season. Crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
But shout out to the Blazers though. I'm really happy they're actually like winning basketball games since they like won that meaningless game against us a long time ago that no one remembers at all.
Maybe they can make a push for the 10. Nah, psych.
They could low key.
Nah,
at this rate, bro.
You think so? 10-1.
They could make a pay. They can make a push. I'm not gonna lie. 9-1 the last 10.
Oh fuck! We play them tomorrow. Shit.
You're gonna lose. So
yeah, we're gonna get clapped. We're playing at home or away. Where is this? Oh, we're home. They're gonna get clapped, bro. Yeah, we good. Yeah. But
you're better on the road than you are at home.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. We lost to the Wizards at home, bro. We lost to the Wizards at home, and we lost to the Kings at home right after they traded Fox.
Oh man.
Yeah, pretty sad times. But we beat the Rockets at home, so dubs.
Yeah.
I think that's everything regarding trade deadline and just like in general anything that's happened in the league. Yeah, I think All-Star break is coming up in like a week or so. Yeah, so we'll probably also take a break during All-Star break because it really be nothing. I don't really think you guys want us to fucking.
We are not touching the All-Star game, guys. I promise.
Yeah, we're not gonna be. I probably might not even watch the All-Star. I'll watch
that shit, bro. Like they acted like they drafted those teams.
Yeah, they didn't, bro. They didn't.
It's just Jack got the old players. Kenny got the young players.
Young guys.
Aliens. They stuck poor Donovan Mitchell on the overseas team.
There's no disrespect to J-Dub. I love J-Dub. There's no way you're picking J-Dub with the third pick on your team, bro. Like, dude.
He wanted to reward winning, bro. Trust.
That's what he said, bro. And then Shaq's dumbass like middle names Anthony Hussein Davis, bro. Like, what are you? Bro was like adding random ass middle names when he was announcing the players. You can never get rid of those four together, bro.
Yeah.
The NBA won't be the same. Like that's like pure entertainment at its finest.
Yeah, they did not draft those teams. It's just old versus young versus overseas.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have a Rising Stars team competing against them as well.
Yeah.
That team they're gonna get clapped.
I'll watch the 3-point contest and call it a day.
Yeah, I'll watch the 3-point contest, maybe the dunk contest, and then call
it a day. I'll watch the Mac McClung 3P for sure.
You think it's gonna be a Mac McClung? I think Stephon Castle got it.
Nah, Mac McClung wakes up for one occasion and one occasion only.
The dunk contest.
You better post something you've never seen before. I promise.
he's about to jump over a key or some shit like Blake Griffin did.
It is, but you jump over the actual car this time, not the hood.
Yeah, funny as fuck. But yeah. So I don't think we'll probably. Do you think we'll release another episode until All-Star break?
Yeah, we'll do one more.
Yeah, we'll probably do one more just to talk about like how the league is like shaping up by the time All-Star break comes, and then we'll catch you guys.
We'll do one Monday after the Luka debut, so we can get Luka-AD, Jimmy debuts. Yeah, we could talk about all that, and then we'll tap back in when everybody comes back from All-Star weekend. Yeah. So yeah, peace.